You're listening to episode 893 of the Father Bills Podcast. Welcome back. This week's episode is entitled, Yeah, but Where's Jesus' TikTok Account? Given on the 21st Sunday in Ordinary Time, 2023. When I was a seminarian, I was sent, as most seminarians are, to go to a hospital to be trained as a chaplain as part of our process of learning how to do ministry. And I won't tell you where I went, but when I was there, when they said, well, hello, what's your name? I'd say, my name is Bill Holtzinger. The response, more times than not, was, oh, is that German? Are you German? I mean, that last name is German, right? I'm like, yeah. And so, I have English and Irish. Oh, now I understand you. I'm like, how can you possibly know? I'm saying this to myself now. How can you possibly know who I am just based on my last name and my ethnicity? Yeah, that seems strange, doesn't it? This is called the fundamental attribution error. You can look it up. But you can't possibly know who I am just by that information. This same fundamental attribution error was basically what happened to Jesus. He went about his life, did some things, right? And he asks questions. He asks this big question, right? But see, some people already know who he is. He's Jesus. We know him. He's from Nazareth. We know he's the son of Joseph, the carpenter. So that should tell us everything. Who would come from Nazareth, that real backwater country, right? Well, imagine that Jesus and his disciples actually leveraged like social media, like Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, Instagram, WeChat, Messenger, Snapchat, Pinterest, Reddit, LinkedIn, Twitter, Discord, Tumblr, Twitch, and Mastodon. What would happen? Like, would it made any difference? Now, that's a hard question to answer. Possibly not. It's hard to say. But I can imagine somebody out there who's incredulous after hearing about Jesus would say, yeah, but where's Jesus' TikTok account? Like, oh, you can never satisfy some people, right? If we've learned anything at all, I hope, and I'm a nerd, I'm a geek, I know this as well, but if I learned anything, is that you want to talk about things that are serious, it needs to be personal. It should not be on email, should not be on a text, should not be in any social media. It's face-to-face, person-to-person. But see, our world now more than ever is ignorant of who Jesus is. Now more than ever, we need to go out and share our faith so that others may come to know Jesus and have salvation. Just to get a sense of how afield some have gone, just go to YouTube, and I'll bring up links when we do this video later. For the people who have gone out to college and universities and on the streets to ask people who Jesus is. They got a wide range of answers. Here's just some of them. Quote, he's a good guy. Quote, a normal person. Quote, he's a marketing genius because he got people to believe in him. Quote, an extremely enlightened person. Quote, he's like David Copperfield. Quote, he's the reincarnation of John McCain. Quote, he's a magician. Quote, he's a super smart person. Quote, there never was actually Jesus. And on and on and on. I'm like, wow. Well, not too surprising. I look at the Pew Research Center. They did a study in 2020, and 65% of adults consider themselves Christian. That seems like that's better than nothing, right? But it used to be 85% just a decade ago. Something's happening, right? The secularization of our culture is happening. And more than that, it's not a neutral secularization, it's an antagonistic atheism. We have big work to do. We have moved from Christendom, where Christian thought and thinking is kind of the standard by which we judge things, to now what we'll call an apostolic age, where we need to be apostles going out to share what we already know, but a lot of people don't. Growing up, I thought everybody knew who Jesus was. Now I'm absolutely convinced that the numbers are not good in that favor. So this is up to us. How will they know who Jesus is? Well, how will we know who Jesus is, right? Jesus asks the question, and it's not just to Peter, it's to us. And think about this. We have an advantage. The disciples were kind of clueless. They gave some ideas of answers that people have said, Moses, Elijah, etc. But it literally took an act of God to infuse this into Peter. That's how pig-headed maybe he was. And Jesus says, the Father is giving you this. Nobody's giving you this information, that he is the Messiah, the Son of the living God. But we know this. We say this in our creed every week because of all those who have followed the apostles. Now, I know that we've all have also entertained our own doubts in our faith. No panic, because it just depends on what you're going to do with that doubt. For starters, I would offer this. Resist the temptation to completely domesticate Jesus, like he's just some nice guy, like a guru. He did some cool things. Maybe he had some nice words, and what a bummer, he got killed for it. Those are, by the way, also answers on the YouTube if you want to check those out. Avoid those, because Jesus never claimed to be just a nice guy, a guru, or any of those things. He claimed to be co-equal with the Father. He claimed to be divine. And that's why he got killed. Just read the scriptures. Nobody's ever said things like this. No religious leader of a major religion has ever said this. Buddha never claimed to be divine. Rather, he said, I've found a way. I want to share this way. I want you to know about it. Or Muhammad never claimed to be God. Rather, he claims to have received a revelation and wants other people to know it. Moses, to his credit, never claimed to be divine, but actually received the law from God and gave it to the people. Confucius never focused on himself, but spoke about a path he had found. What Jesus never said is, hey, I found a way. Let me tell you the truth. Or let me show you how to live. No, he said, I am the way, I am the truth, I am the life. These are radical statements. And if that doesn't blow your mind, he says, I am the resurrection. That's enough to kind of make your head spin if you really think about it. And I want us to really think about this, because if what we come up with is a nice Jesus, and that's it, we've missed it. We've missed who he is. He's actually quite disturbing. He did things that, like raising him from the dead should make you kind of wonder. When they encountered Jesus, people were afraid because he wielded such power. He spoke with such authority. He ticked off all the authorities around him. He was unmistakably walking in to make things, let's say, messy. As Pope Francis said, he wants the church to become messy. Well, Jesus did it. He walked in and messed things up. Actually gave us the great order of what we are doing. See, this is the crux of everything. We need to know who Jesus is, not what our culture says Jesus is, because, well, no wonder. I bet you a decade from now, if we continue this way, it won't be 65%, it will be 55% or lower will believe in, it will be Christian, because we've robbed or emptied out who and what Christianity is, because we've robbed out who Jesus is. We have a mission here at Holy Trinity, and it's summed up when you walk through the doors. Know, go, and grow. We need to know Jesus, not our atheistic concept or pluralistic neutrality of ideas here. He is a very serious person who challenges us, who actually demands a decision on our part. He's either God or he's a bad man. There's nowhere in between. He didn't say he was a nice guy. He overthrew tables and messed up changes, and he said to the authorities, they're whited sepulchers. That's pretty serious. So how do we do this? How can we know with our mind who Jesus is? I might be speaking to the choir here, obviously, because I'm in church, but simply read your Bible. Read the Bible. In fact, start with the Gospels. Make a commitment to start with Mark. You can do that in an hour, but I don't recommend you speed read this. Read the gospel slowly. Chew on the words. Ponder on the strangeness of the things that Jesus did. Where other people may be able to heal, there was a lot of machinations they had to do, but Jesus just walks up and says, be healed. And poof, what he said was now reality. Maybe join a Bible study here at church. Maybe if you don't have the time that they are doing it, go online. There's plenty of Bible studies online. Maybe reflect and get out your catechism. Read what the church speaks about throughout the history about who Jesus is. Maybe we'll be having our Grow group. You might be familiar with that. Some of you are new. This is a spiritual reflection of a group that, after knowing who Jesus is, we now want to then go deeper in our faith. Or if none of those are the case, start your own Bible study. You don't need me to do it. You do it yourself. Go online, get some friends, get your Bibles out, and just meet together, however you want to do it. There's tons of resources. So beyond knowing the details of Jesus, because we need to know who it is that we worship, as opposed to some other imagination of things, we need to be clear. But as Deacon Brett said last weekend, we need to not just know Jesus, we need to be in a relationship with him. Not this. In fact, we should probably check ourselves. How is our relationship transactional? If I do this, God, you will give me this. Like Santa Claus. If I'm naughty or nice, etc., right? That's not how God works. We need to then do a little gut check. We need to know about him so that our worship is rightly placed with him. So this week, here's some concrete ideas. Put forth this question and answer it yourself. Who do you say that I am? This is Jesus asking this question. Knowing that Jesus truly has revealed himself to the church, and that being the most critical thing of who we are as Christians, then this weekend commit yourself to deepening your knowledge about him, and then place your heart in his to get to know him more personally. That your knowledge will now become a knowing of a person and in a relationship. Because then, knowing who Jesus truly is and being in a relationship with him will make the difference, not just in your life, but in many lives you touch. God bless you. Thank you again for listening to this episode of the Father Bill's podcast. If you have any questions or comments, go to my website, fatherbill.org, and there you will see some of my social media connections. I've added Threads and a couple others. I'm supposed to be able to cross post to them. None of it's working, so yeah, I have little faith in social media. Right now, it's kind of individually post things, but nonetheless, you can check out what's going on there. And of course, you can email me right from the website as well. If you want to get an alert to this particular podcast as when it's going to be published, if you're on YouTube, you can hit the like and subscribe. If you have another kind of podcast feeder, maybe there's a way to like that or let you know when there's a new episode posted, and try that out. In the meantime, may God bless you and have a great week. Bye-bye.